Hi, guys, and welcome back to
Built-in
Besties,
Besties
a dad.
and Daughter podcast.
Super excited to be doing this one again today. Thanks, everybody, for watching, listening the last time. Let's get to yapping. I have some ideas.
Okay.
I want to recap our week first. Just so everyone knows, we're recording one day earlier. We'll get to why later on. But first, I want to talk about your week. So let's take it back to Saturday, because that would have been our first day. Start on Saturday, and let's bring us all the way up to right here. Did we do anything on Saturday? I don't really remember. Oh, we did go to Target. I forgot. I did have the day off. I took that day off again because you're recovering from your surgery, as everyone should know. If you don't, Jacquelyn had surgery last week.
You guys have to go watch that video, though, to learn more.
That's true. And it's been about 9 days. 9 days.
9 days.
Since your surgery. I'm not good at counting. Sorry, everybody. It's been about 9 days. Let's talk about how you're healing first. How's that going?
It's going pretty well. Just like a little bit of pain, but it's also manageable. I haven't taken medicine in since Monday. Well, I didn't even take it on Monday. So for a couple days now. And it feels really nice because I don't really like taking medicine. It's not my favorite thing. I don't like kind of that flowing through my veins, kind of. Like, I like my body to heal itself. And the only really time I'll take medicine is after surgery. But, if it's, do or die, I'll take it. But really, if I have, a headache or anything, I'm kind of more standoffish about it.
Okay. So you try to avoid taking medicine
Yes.
as much as you can. Okay. You definitely had to at first because that was a lot of pain that you were in, but it was just Tylenol and ibuprofen this time.
Yeah.
So you were able to manage your pain pretty well. We stayed on top of it for the most part. Okay. Saturday. I'm remembering some things about Saturday now that we're sitting here yapping. Saturday, when we went to Target, we left our home, you and I, and it was a beautiful day out.
I was wearing shorts.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. Like in the 50s, which for here this time of year, really nice. I told you how warm it was. You didn't even bring a jacket or anything. I think I was wearing this, or actually the new yellow one that I have from Target to Target. It's kind of like wearing the band shirt to the band that you're going to see. Mm. It's a little strange. Anyway, we got there. We shopped around. It was really chaotic in there.
Yeah, it was really busy. So we kind of just walked around, but there are also so many people there that trying to walk around on crutches. It's not very easy.
A little problematic, yeah.
But it's really funny because kids see my crutches and they're like...
You did get so many looks from the kids in there. So many looks. They just kept looking back.
They just stared too, because they don't know any better.
We didn't get really much from Target, like one or two things. And then we walked out of Target, and I would love for you to talk about that experience.
We walk out of Target, and it's raining. Freezing rain with heavy wind.
Gale force winds. You snapped a photo. It's going up right now. You looked absolutely stunning. I can't believe that happened. It was so warm here. We went there, and then it was like a whole cold front came through. And it was, I think we actually saw some snow, too. It was crazy. We did go to a Target that was 35 minutes away from our home, more in the hills of our state, and it was completely different. It was very strange. Okay, Sunday rolled around.
First family dinner with Bailey Grace.
That was very fun. We got to all try to steal her for as long as we could and hold her and love on her. We had what I think was pretty good dinner. We celebrated your Grammy's birthday. Happy birthday again to Grammy. And we had a pretty fun time overall, I think. Anything else you remember about it you want to talk about Sunday?
We just love Bailey so much. She's so sweet. Well, you can't really call a baby sweet because...
Sure you can.
Yeah, but she's very much a chill baby too.
She is very chill.
She's what I know, she's a really good baby.
Yep.
And she's just amazing, and it's just so nice to hold her because you're kind of just like calm in that moment.
It does kind of calm me down a little bit. You're right. Yeah. Monday, first day back to school. But before that, you had a doctor's appointment, not for your knees. Want to talk about that?
Surprisingly, I had an appointment for my ARFID at occupational therapy, and it was my first time going there. And it was actually kind of nice. We just kind of sat in a kitchen, and which was really random, but we just sat in like a kitchen type room. It was just like an office one, and kind of just talked. I cut open food. Yeah.
Talk more about it. Like let's go through everything that you went through in that meeting. We did talk about if you want to. Are you comfortable talking about it? Okay. So ARFID, which is
Avoidant
avoidant.
restrictive food intake disorder.
Perfect. I didn't even have to say it. What is that? So what does that mean to you? We talked about it a little bit one time on one pod, but I want you to kind of summarize what that means to you and how you feel about food and everything that surrounds that.
ARFID to me is very much a struggle because it's hard to find things that I like and that like I'm comfortable with, that are safe foods for me. And it's kind of hard because you go to like restaurants and different places like I want to travel, but also there needs to be things for me to eat. And that was a big struggle when we went to Europe.
Yeah, sure was.
But yeah,
And Puerto Rico.
and Puerto Rico.
Yeah. We just seem like we're world travelers here. Those were just 2 trips that we got to take. I say just 2 trips, but we had a lot of fun. But you're right, it was a real struggle to be in places outside of your regular normal area. And it was really hard to see you kind of struggle through those things too. That's when we really, I think,
Yeah.
realized that there was a little bit more going on than just picky eater. Because you hear that so often. So if you think of ARFID, you can think of a picky eater.
1 second.
It's also maybe a little bit of how that food makes that person feel, right? What is it? How does it make you feel? For instance, I brought in a couple of your fear foods. I brought in very simple things. So blueberries, and I made scrambled eggs. And I brought those in. We had 2 safe foods for you as well. We had some goldfish crackers. Everyone loves goldfish crackers. I can't, like, the snack that smiles back, man. It is so
Goldfish.
good. All of them, pretty much, with few exceptions.
Yeah.
And I brought some shredded cheese also.
Love shredded cheese.
Yeah, so the occupational therapist who was really great. Did you have a nice experience with her?
Yep.
Good. She had you look at the blueberry first, right? So let's bring us through that.
It wasn't too hard for me because I don't really think that that's more of like a sight one for me. It's because ARFID is really all of like your probably
Senses?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but it wasn't really that hard for me because blueberries are kind of a fear food, but also I can be around them and not be too uncomfortable. So it was just more of like I would never eat it, but I was okay with like cutting it open and smelling it and like moving it around.
And that's kind of what she had you do
Yeah.
also, right? She asked you to cut into it. Kind of like how what you're seeing, you're using your senses, how that's making you feel. It was it was pretty interesting. Some food exploration, I
Yeah.
think is what we'll call it. And then the other one, scrambled eggs.
Oh,
How
I
did
have the
that go?
hiccups.
Can't hiccup on a pod. How did the scrambled egg situation go? We can work through it. It's fine.
I hate scrambled eggs. I hate really eggs in the first place. The only eggs I'll eat is sometimes a hard boiled egg white.
Just the white, no
But
yolk.
yeah, I don't know. I just really, eggs is not a thing that I like. I don't like the way that they smell. I don't like the way that they look. Just really, I would never eat them. I've never really been an egg person either.
I used to actually be able to make you scrambled eggs and you would eat them. It was a while ago, but you were at one point in time an egg person. I just don't think you remember it because it was so long ago. Okay, so we had that
It's like that
appointment.
with a lot of foods.
We're going to have more appointments. I don't want to glaze over what you just said, actually, because I think that's important. You're right. You are with that, or you are like that, excuse me, with a lot of foods. And we've lost some of those safe foods that you had before.
Like
What
Chick-fil-A.
what would you say what would you say your goal is for the occupational therapy? What would be your goal if you had to set one?
Just to be more comfortable with foods, I think.
Do you desire to eat more and different foods?
Maybe a little more, but also just kind of being comfortable and being in the same room as some things.
Does it give you anxiety?
Yeah,
So you become anxious when you see foods or maybe smell foods that you are uncomfortable with?
especially like if like I'm really excited for my food and something goes wrong with it, then I can't eat it anymore. Like I don't want it. Like my whole dinner's ruined now because that went wrong.
Yeah, your whole mood does kind of
Like
shift.
especially with an example is we went out to the bar that my auntie works at for New Year's and the marinara spilled on my mozzarella sticks and there was like parmesan on it, which no hate to them. We love you guys. But and it just like everyone was like, "Do you want another one? Do you want another one?" Like, no. Like I'm already like that's already making me anxious. I don't want to go and eat more of it now.
Is it just that you saw that and that made you anxious? Or is it also that you feel like a lot of people are now focused on you and how maybe this, I don't want to say makes you different, but it's the only way I can kind of put it. Does
Yeah,
does that play a role?
it is hard because once people know that you have an eating disorder, they're like, "Well, we don't have to go there because what are you going to eat?" Like don't focus on just one single person. Focus on like the whole crowd and I will find something to eat. And sometimes in that scenario it's just that I eat at home and that's like what makes me happier.
How would you want people to handle that scenario? Because there's a fine line, I think, between being aware of something and wanting to accommodate someone and
Just being excessive.
being over the top with it. I think that most of our family has learned that this is real for you, that it's not just being a picky eater. What's the line for you?
I understand trying to accommodate for me, but also like I don't want to be treated differently. Like I still want like obviously don't offer me something you know I'm not going to eat. Because that's what like really bothers me sometimes is that people will be like, "Hey, do you want some broccoli?" Like, no. Or like they'll be like, "Hey, do you want some pizza?" Like if you like know that I'm not going to eat it, then offering it to me is just making me feel like not seen. You know what I mean?
Is there a way that someone could offer you something to be just polite about it while respecting your circumstances or your
Mm,
disorder, I guess?
maybe saying like, "Hey, this is here if you want to try it," but like no pressure.
Okay.
Like it's here if you want to have some of it, but I'm not saying, "Hey, you should really try this."
Okay. Sometimes I think I fall victim to this. That's why I asked you that question because sometimes I get so excited for food or like if we're trying something new and I'm so happy about it. Like, are you sure you don't want to try this? And I'm not trying to pressure
Yeah.
you with that. I'm just trying to like share the joy in this because I find a lot of joy
Mm.
in food and trying new things that sometimes it's hard for me to not remember that you don't want to do those things, but I want to share that with you
Yeah.
sometimes. So that is a little difficult. So I apologize if I'm
It's
ever
okay.
if it feels like I'm pushing you to that point. I don't want to do that to you. I want you to be comfortable around the food for sure
Mm.
and not have to look at something and be like, ooh. Um, I thought about the instance in Puerto Rico. where we went to that restaurant that was at the resort.
Mm.
And I finally, after so long, because it was so difficult to try to find something that you would maybe enjoy, ordered the burger. And it
Mhm.
was just on the menu as a kid's burger. Simple, right? I was like, hey, we can get through a burger for sure. Let's try this out. You finally were game for it. You were hyped, I think, actually, to
I
have the
was
burger.
really excited for that burger.
It came out and there was cheese on it. And really, if I'm being so incredibly honest here, I wanted to throw myself into the ocean when I saw the cheese on that burger
It's okay.
because I knew, just like the marinara
Yeah.
thing, that it was going to have a big effect on you. And I knew that I had to personally take a deep breath to try to work through this with you. And you did work through that a little bit. But it's also really interesting to me how you can love all of the elements that are there,
And don't want it together.
but once they're together, it becomes a no-go for you. Have you changed your mind at all with the cheese on the burger?
Nope.
And you'll do a grilled cheese
Cheese
also.
does not belong on a burger.
Oh, you're so wrong
Cheese does
about
not
this.
belong on a burger.
Cheese belongs on almost everything.
I feel like if you really wanted to, put some ketchup on it, but like, cheese does not belong on a burger.
Would you put ketchup on a burger?
No.
Would you ever dip it? Used
No.
to do a little dippy dip.
I'm doing much better with my fidgeting today.
You
It's because
are
I'm playing with a Band-Aid in my pocket.
fantastic. Whatever it takes. Okay.
They're
So
gonna be focused on my pocket right now, trying to see me fidget now.
it was a really good appointment, and
Mhm.
I was happy that you got to go do that. And we're going to have more appointments in the future. Takes a few weeks to get established and to make all that happen, but after that, it'll
And
be
I
weekly.
get pulled out of school.
10 minutes early. Don't go overboard. After that appointment, you had to go to school, and that was your first day back after a long hiatus from hiatus. It's a good word. Come on. It was a long hiatus. Wow. Man, it's been a long week for me too. It was your first day back after a long hiatus. I'm just gonna keep saying the word hiatus. What was that like to go back to school with crutches, with not being able to carry your backpack, all that stuff? I'd like to know your experience this week.
It's really hard because like you feel like everyone has to do everything for you. Because like you're physically not allowed to lift anything. Well,
Mhm.
you can lift things under 10 pounds, but like my backpack is, we should weigh it
It's
with the
probably
stuff
close
in
to
it.
20 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel bad making my friends carry it, but also like I can't. And I don't know. It was hard because I went in late. And so I had to walk in the office and be like, hi. Hi.
I went in with you, and I think they could be a touch nicer in the office. I'm not going to
They're
talk
not
trash
very
on the
nice.
podcast, but
They're
uh,
not very nice. I will say it.
they could be a little nicer in the office for sure.
Like kids are coming in late, and I understand that they're late, but also like say hello, greet them. Don't just be like, what do you want?
Kind of just like be a nice human, huh?
Be a nice human.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not saying that they're not nice people. They're just it doesn't you don't get that warm feeling
Yeah.
when you walk in.
It's kind of just like period. Like just a
Period.
dot.
Yeah. What is it like between your classes? You're in middle school now, so you have to
I have
go
to
to all
find
different
someone
classes.
in
How
every
do you
single
do that?
class. Very carefully.
Okay. Has it been the same person most days?
Most days, yeah.
Okay. Thank you to all of Jackie's classmates for
Thank
helping
you.
her out. Really, that's really awesome. We've been picking up your friend most mornings so that they can help you
Mm-hmm.
get into school, which is very helpful. Again, very much appreciated. How's your recovery talking about school? Like, how have you
It's,
been uncomfortable?
yeah, because our desks are connected to the chair, so it's kind of hard to like back away, which some of our, like two of my classes don't have that, but also it's maybe three. It's so hard because you're just stuck there, and especially on our block days where I have to sit for 80 minutes straight. Like in French class today, which is my 8th period, like my knees were literally locking and I was moving and I just couldn't pay attention to anything because I was in like so much pain from just sitting there. And she was just talking, so it wasn't like I could get up and make a ruckus with my crutches.
Are you allowed to get up and move around if you need to?
Not really.
You couldn't just tell the teacher, like, hey, I need to stretch these puppies out for a little bit?
Not really.
Hmm. That is really tough, then. Do you feel like you're behind right now because of your time away?
A little bit,
Because of
but
your
also
hiatus?
a little bit, but also I've been trying to catch up. And it's just like I feel like school this week has been really draining because just like our couple like last days of our trimester. So like everything has to be turned in and like grades are finalized and it's just like there's so much pressure. And I feel like it needs to be like May so that can kind of be just like lifted off because once it gets to May, it kind of gets a little lighter because school's going to end soon. And it's just like it needs to I feel like teachers need to be a little more at ease because like we're kids. We're human beings. And I don't think they want to go home and grade 1,000 papers. So why are we going home and doing a bunch of homework?
Well, first off, that's part of their job.
Once again, part of their job.
That's part of their job to grade papers. I'm sure it's taxing on them, but that's part of their job.
They
And
picked that.
yeah, but part of your job is to go to school. And this is kind of like crunch time. I feel like this is probably one of the busiest times of school right now. You've gotten through the holidays and now
Just
it's kind
stuck in
of
this never ending
now it's kind
period
of
of time.
consistent, right? You get a week-long spring break next month
Mm-hmm.
in April, but right now is kind of like crunch time of hitting the peak of your 7th grade learning, I
Yeah.
think, at this point, which I guess can be really draining, especially when you've come back from having that hiatus. And now, now you have to both catch up during a time where it may be the hardest pieces of your learning.
And like teachers are understanding, but they're also like very like, well, you have to do this.
Well, they're setting high
Yeah.
expectations.
But also like you have to understand that I wasn't in a state where I could do things. And I tried to do as much as I could, but you also have to understand that I had just gotten surgery. I didn't want to do things because I was focusing on trying to like make my body feel better. And I'm not going to have time to study. Like I was trying to study my body so that it got better.
We just told them that we went to Target on
That was on Saturday. That is a weekend
but
thing.
but you missed all that time, so you could have done a little more. We talked about how sometimes we procrastinate and we waste time a little bit. Whether I don't want to say that's wasting time because being together with you and going to do something like that, especially when you've been cooped up in the house,
Mm-hmm.
it's not wasting time. But to say that you couldn't do those things because you're trying to heal whatever, were we healing at Target? Really?
Yes.
We were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
We were healing my legs by stretching them out
Okay.
to walk.
I will accept your answer there. So school overall okay.
Eh,
You haven't really complained about it too much.
I'm just tired.
You are really tired, huh? You have been
Go,
knocked
go,
like
go.
when it's bedtime, just conked out. All right. We're recording on a Thursday. It was a little difficult to schedule this. Had to rearrange work a little bit and stuff, but I
I'm
wanted to make
going to
sure that
Florida
yeah, let's talk about it. You're going to Florida tomorrow.
for my cousin's wedding.
Okay.
Which it's like a black tie event, which I'm actually really excited because I get to get all dolled up. And I have a floor-length dress. Wait, should we show it?
Okay, so your cousin's wedding.
Yep.
Black tie event.
Mm-hmm.
How excited are you for this?
I'm very excited because I kind of get to, like I said, get dressed up and just kind of like be elegant. And I decorated my crutches.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
You guys are going to see that.
I had to put them to the theme.
Yeah, it's really cute. You did a really nice job with it.
Thank you.
You had them decorated before it kind of fell apart as they're getting used, obviously. And you had to make it more of a black tie,
Yeah, obviously.
crutch type event. So you did such a nice job with that.
I
nice
made my
arts and
own
crafts
bows.
skills. You did.
My COVID time crafting skills really helped me.
Paid off.
Because
right
I always used to just do crafts during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in my Snapchat memories the other day, it was me and I made felt flowers.
Oh, I remember the felt flowers. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
We would go to the store and we would get a ton of the felt,
The strips
looks
of
like
felt, yeah.
paper and stuff too. Yeah, that was fun. Okay, what are you? We talked about what you're excited about, but anything else? Excited to see family, things
I am
like that.
excited to see my family.
All right.
Very excited because I get to see my Auntie Cindy and some of my mom's side of the family that I don't really see, which I don't really know them that much, but they're probably all gonna hug me and say, "Oh, I remember you when you were little."
Maybe you should have mom show you some photos of people ahead of time and give you a full debrief of who these people are before you actually meet them again.
I'll stalk them on Facebook later.
I don't think
later.
I don't think there's gonna be
too many people.
That many people that you're not gonna know that would know you, and the core people right there too, and Grandma will be there too, right? Grandpa Mike. So I think you'll know a fair bit of people, and it's just some uncles that I think maybe that you won't have remembered.
Yeah.
Because it's been a little while. All right. Do you like weddings?
I think they're really fun. I've only been to one wedding in my life, and that was my cousin.
Yeah.
It was another one of my cousins.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. It was kind of like a sage green. I feel like it was.
That was a cool venue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really cool venue.
It was really nice there, and it was really fun.
What's your favorite part of the wedding?
The reception.
Okay.
Which I'm not excited for the food. I'm probably not going to eat once again.
Dinner rolls and butter.
But yeah. But I feel like even though I can't dance this time, it's kind of fun because everybody just dances and has a good time.
I think you'll be able to do.
Has a good time.
I think you'll be able to do a little bit.
I'm not allowed to jump.
You can't jump, and that's okay.
I'm gonna be like this.
You can do a little one of these. You don't have to
cue the dance music.
Dance break over. Anyway, you can do a little bobbing and weaving, I think.
Yeah.
Even if you had one crutch out on the dance floor and you were just using that for stability and you were dancing around, I think you're actually going to have a really good time.
Me too. It's going to be a late tonight.
It's just you and Mom heading off. I'll drive you over to the airport. I won't tell your airplane that you're clear for takeoff because I'm going to leave. I'm not going to go back to work at that point. Sorry. But I hope you have a really good time with that.
Thank you.
You're flying the old JetBlue down there, so you get the seat back with movies and stuff like that. That should be good.
You're gonna get to the JetBlue stretching video.
Oh, that's right. It was your doctor who told you about it, right? JetBlue does a little chair yoga type thing. It's either gonna be maybe in the seat box. Wow,
we're so good at speaking.
Bad at talking tonight. It's either gonna be in the seat back pocket. Mm-hmm. Or it could just be up on the screen also. But that should help. And you told me you're going to make friends with the flight attendants too, right?
Sam.
Is that your...
Because I'm going to go and stand in the back so I can stretch my legs a little. Because how long is 80 minutes?
80 minutes?
Yeah.
It's just shy of an hour and a half.
Okay. So I can make it 80 minutes. And then I'm going to go stand up for 15. And then I'm going to go back.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a nice smooth flight so you'll be able to get up and move around. If not, you'll really have to rely on that chair yoga. Because surgery happened not too long ago, you have to kind of keep up and moving and stuff like that to prevent blood clots. I think that you're kind of at the point where you wouldn't have to worry about that. Too. Oh, cool. Bestie gang, I'm sorry to interrupt the podcast, but I have a very special announcement that we forgot to announce during the pod when we were filming it, and Jacquelyn's in Florida right now. We want to have a little contest, a little fun with this. You guys know the beautiful mouth trumpet that starts off every one of these episodes. You know it. Some of you absolutely hate it. I'm not sure I like it either, but we want the fans to send in their best mouth trumpets, and I want to end every episode with a special fan mouth trumpet. You can send it to builtinbestiespodcast at gmail.com. All one word, builtinbestiespodcast at gmail.com. I can't wait to hear all of these. You can get creative with it. It doesn't have to be the same exact thing that I do. Anyway, send them in. I can't wait to hear them. And if you send them in, one of them will be on next week, and then we'll do it every single week. Bye. Do you like flying?
I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Talk about it.
Because I feel like it's really fun, but also it can be kind of tiring to be in an airport and to be on a flight because you just want to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you get there so quick.
I like the movies.
You do like the movies on airplanes. You're such a
That's the only time I watch Mamma Mia.
You're going to get to board early, right? You're going to use that crutch advantage.
And I'm going to get a wheelchair in the Orlando airport.
Are you sitting in the back of the plane? Yeah. Do you think they'll let you just move to the front?
I don't really know if I want to be in the front.
Why?
Because then I can't be in the back cabin where it's easier to get there.
If you're like really close to the front, you have that front galley. You're not supposed to. They'll always tell you when you're on the airplane, please don't gather by the front galley because that's near the cockpit door. And whatever, you're 13. It's not like you're storming a cockpit here. Come on. But they ask you to not like stand around right there. But if you had that first row, especially on like the bulkhead row, you might be able to stretch out and even just like stand up a little bit right there. But I think JetBlue charges crazy amounts of money for those first 4 rows where they have a little additional space, but maybe you can sweet talk your way into a good seat. What up, JetBlue? Anyway.
I'm tired today.
Anything else you want to yap about?
Not really, no.
No? I hope you have the best trip.
I'm
excited to hear about it. I'm excited to see your photos. You're going to enjoy some really warm weather. I'm going to hold it down here at home. And I'll miss you for those few days.
Miss you too.
Good pod, buddy.
And be a nice human.
Be a nice human, everybody. We'll see you next week.